I'm not for you. Señor Nishi,
Govordhanpuja, Goranga, say Haribol Mataji.
Haribol.
So, we're going to discuss a little bit about how Giriraj Govardhan came about. Not the material aspect of it, but from the Goloka Vrindavan aspect of it. And this is explained in the Garga Samhita. Very beautiful details are given, 3rd canto, chapter 9 of the Garga Samhita. So, one day in the forest of Vrindavan, Vrindavan is filled with forests and kunjas and beautiful lakes. So it has 12 primary forests of Vrindavan. It's called Dvadashakana. And one day, as Krishna and Srimati Radharani and the gopis had performed the Rasa Leela, and there was something in Srimati Radharani's heart that she was not revealing to Krishna. And so she gave a long, beautiful glance to Krishna. It's called Radha Kripa Kataksha, is what we pray, which is the anthem of Goloka Vrindavan. So this beautiful long glance of Srimati Radharani, she looked at Krishna and approached Krishna saying, and requested, my dear Lord of my heart, I have something that I would like to ask of you. Then Krishna immediately replied to Srimati Radharani, what is it that I can do to serve you? Srimati Radharani then asked for something, asked for a special place, asked to create something where they could do more intimate pastimes. So then Krishna sat down, and all the gopis were witnessing this. And he sat in a secluded place, and he started meditating. And he started meditating on this deep love that he has for Srimati Radharani and the gopis. And from that deep love came this beautiful effulgence in the form of fire. This one too. Yes, fire and water. And this beautiful, what's the word I'm looking for? Rays from Krishna's heart entered the ground. And as it entered the ground, it started growing and growing and growing and growing. And that was the deep love that Krishna had for Srimati Radharani. And that became Giriraj Govardhan. So that is why Giriraj Govardhan is non-different from Krishna himself. Because it was created from Krishna's deep love for Srimati Radharani and the gopis. And there's very numerical descriptions of how big this Giriraj Govardhan was. So this Giriraj Govardhan grew into a great mountain with many, many caves and swiftly moving streams, rivers, as I was saying. Beautiful, fragrant flower trees like the Kadamba flowers, the Bakul flowers, and Malati creepers, Ashoka trees, and many other network of various different vines. And opulent with Mandara and Kunda flowers. I know some of the flowers you may not have heard. You can research them. Very interesting, fascinating descriptions are there. And filled with millions and uncountable number of graceful birds. In a single moment, that mountain became 800,000 miles wide. 800,000 miles wide and 8 billion miles long. It was like another Ananta Shesh. It was 4 billion miles tall. So I'm giving you some numbers so you can see the vastness of Govardhan Hill, and then we'll discuss how Krishna had so many exchanges there. It was like a gigantic elephant. It had 180 million mile tall peaks. It had hundreds of millions of beautiful golden domes. So this is a little description of the numerical size of Goloka Vrindavan. This is from Govardhan. As the mountain expanded, Goloka became filled with fear and a great uproar, because Goloka Vrindavan is vast. So this Govardhan was created right in the middle of Vrindavan. It is like the pivot that everything revolves around, this Govardhan Hill. And then Krishna, he stood up, now that is big enough, and he smacked the Giriraj mountain with his hand. You know when a child does something wrong and you just keep growing, you just a little tap. So Krishna tapped Giriraj Govardhan and he told him to stop. So in this way, Giriraj Govardhan was created by Krishna. And then Krishna looked at this beautiful Giriraj Govardhan and all the residents of Vrindavan and Srimati Radharani. They looked at this beautiful Giriraj Govardhan and their hearts were filled with transcendental joy that Krishna has created this beautiful place. And the descriptions of Giriraj Govardhan is so vast, written by Raghunath Das Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And also in Garda Samhita, details how Giriraj Govardhan, there was everything imaginable that was needed for the residents of Vrindavan was provided. Everything was there. So that is where Krishna had done innumerable number of pastimes. That is the place where Krishna collected tax. And there are so many kundas, so many beautiful lakes. And just as we're studying about Radha Kund and Shyama Kund, we'll discuss that a little bit later. Discussing about, I just wanted to give you a little synopsis of how Giriraj Govardhan was created and how it was created from Krishna and not different from Krishna. He falls into the category of Haridasa Bhakti. the topmost servant of Krishna. And yet is Krishna, not different from Krishna. So, the pastime that we're celebrating today is Govordhanpuja, also known as Annakut. This festival normally takes place after the harvesting season. In India, the harvest season has just ended, one harvest season, and everyone is celebrating. They have accumulated all the crops, and then they worship the different demigods to thank them for providing all the necessary resources. So, in Vrindavan, in the house of Nanda Maharaj, they were preparing for Indra Yajna. Indra Yajna is the yajna that you do to please Lord Indra. They have yajnas for everything in the Vedas. Any demigod you want to please, there is a yajna for it. So they were doing an Indra Yajna, and they were cooking and massive operations all over Vrindavan. As this preparation was going on, little baby Krishna, he sees so much going on all around him. And this little baby boy, he approaches his father. He said, "My dear father, please tell me what is going on. What is all these preparations? What are they for?" And because Krishna was so beautiful and he was so curious. Normally when a child is curious, the father and the mother are so happy to explain to them. Sometimes in India we just tell them they're too young, they won't understand, so we just tell them to be quiet. You'll understand when you grow up. But this wasn't the case with Nanda Maharaj and Krishna. So Krishna, upon asking this question, Nanda Maharaj looked at him with so much love and put him on his lap and explained to Krishna, "Krishna, we worship Lord Indra because he provides rains, and without rain we're not able to, with the rain we're able to harvest, we get grains, and if the grass grows, there's life, and then all the cows are nourished, all the residents of Vrindavan are happy." Very beautiful, beautiful dialogue where he explains everything that the demigods do. And Krishna, he explains to his father, he's reasoning with him, there's a little debate, a little discussion that is taking place. He presents the philosophy of karma mimamsa. Karma mimamsa is a philosophy where everything happens in the world due to the ordinance of the Supreme Being. And you don't have to do anything special or unique because they have to do their duties. Lord Indra, he has to provide rain because that is his responsibility. Similarly, all the demigods have their certain responsibilities and certain duties, and they will have to follow. So what is the need for you to make this big preparation to worship Lord Indra? Long philosophy of karma mimamsa Krishna explains to. Very lovingly he explains. Because of his loving explanation, not because of the philosophical aspect of it, just because Nanda Maharaj's love for Krishna was so strong, and that Krishna was so lovingly explaining that there is no need to worship Lord Indra. Nanda Maharaj agreed to Krishna's proposal to stop the worship of Lord Indra and that they should worship Giriraj Govardhan. Because Giriraj Govardhan, as he explained, provides everything that is needed. He explained. There's caves there. Whenever there is any storms, we go and take shelter. There's beautiful lakes where we go swim and play. We collect water from those beautiful waterfalls. Our cows graze there. So Giriraj Govardhan provides everything. So Nanda Maharaj changed the decision and started preparations for the worship of Giriraj Govardhan. And all the residents of Vrindavan, they started cooking. Prabhupada explains how they are cooking rasgullas, halavas, gulab jamun. But we all know that the residents of Vrindavan were known for milk products. So they made so many milk products. And they made a mountain, a big huge mountain of food that they would offer to Giriraj Govardhan. They said the mountain was so big that they couldn't see the top of the Prasadam hill. That's how much they had cooked. I have no idea how they worked out the logistics for stacking it up. But it was so vast. And from this mountain appeared this big, beautiful form. It was Krishna's form, in the form of Giriraj Govardhan. And he said, I am Govardhan. And he had a big mouth and big hands. He was as tall as the mountain. Imagine, what was the height of the mountain? Who remembers? Anyone remembers? What was the height of the mountain? It was 4 billion miles tall. Imagine, that's the height of the mountain. So that is how high this Krishna took this form. And he had this massive arms. So he put all his arms and he grabbed all his food and he just gobbled it. And he just ate everything. And there was no more food left. And he was still very hungry. So what did he say? Everyone say it together. Aniyor. Aniyor is the word. What did this beautiful form of Krishna say? Aniyor. Let's try it together. Aniyor. Who wants more? Whenever there is prasadam, there's good sweets, everyone says, give me more, give me more. So instead of give me more, what do you say? Aniyor. So today, for Govordhanpuja, if you want anything more, what do you say? Aniyor. You have to say it loud, otherwise if the person doesn't hear, he won't give you extra prasadam. So then, one of the residents of Vrindavan, they knew the trick, and they brought a tulasi leaf, and they gave it to him, and he took the tulasi leaf, and he was full. That was it. That's all he wanted. So, this is how Giriraj Govardhan was worshipped. And everybody, everyone in Vrindavan, everybody in the entire universe was so satisfied. Because after all the food was eaten, all of a sudden the food appeared all over again. This was the mercy of Krishna. And there was so much prasadam. Everything they had cooked, it appeared again, and they had a massive party. And that is why everyone was so satisfied, because they all got to eat prasadam. Who's not satisfied after prasadam? So, there was one person who was not satisfied. Everybody knows, right? Yes. Indra was the only person that was not satisfied. Because if Krishna is satisfied, then everyone is satisfied. So, Indra got very upset. How dare they do this to me? So he summoned his most ferocious weapon. And this weapon comes in the form of rain and thunderstorm. And this rain, this Samvartaka cloud, is only discharged when there is a need for pralaya. Pralaya, do you understand? Pralaya means dissolution. When the whole planetary system will be flooded, will be destroyed, this is when Samvartaka cloud is beckoned. So he called Samvartaka cloud and he said, go to Vrindavan, go to Gokul, and I would like you to finish him off, destroy, flood that whole place. So Samvartaka cloud is a very dark cloud, is it? You can't see anything. You will not be able to see your hand. That's how dark the clouds are. It covered all the way from the lowest planet. What is the lowest planet? It's called Rasatala. There's 14 planets. We're in the middle. The lowest one is Rasatala planet. From Rasatala to Svargaloka, all the way, he covered it. Complete darkness. This was the potency of Samvartaka cloud. And started pouring rain into Vrindavan. And the rains were so thick, they would fall in the sides of columns, big, big columns. It wasn't like the drop. And the hails were the size of mountains that was being poured all over Vrindavan. Please move closer so they can all sit. Move closer. And everyone can move up just a little bit more. Tomorrow is a little rock has moved. The beautiful deers, the peacocks, the birds, nobody was harmed. Then he came down and he offered very beautiful prayers to Krishna. Beautiful, beautiful prayers to Krishna. And, of course, Krishna forgave him. There is a beautiful story how he was so afraid to approach Indra. He had to approach the Surabhi cow. And he went all over the place to beg for forgiveness from Krishna. So we celebrate this Govardhan Puja because it is non-different from Krishna. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'm cutting the story very, very short because of time. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he personally, when he went to Vrindavan, he personally showed how we should worship Giriraj Govardhan. He explains in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Krishnadas Kaviraj and Vrindavan Das Thakur explains how when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan, he did not even climb the Giriraj Govardhan hill, even though the beautiful deity of Madhavendra Puri was there. He did not feel, because he was in the mood of Srimati Radharani, who was a devotee, he did not feel that it was his position to set his foot on the Govardhan hill. Circumambulated Govardhan hill, and he personally brought a Govardhan Shila with him. Because every stone from this beautiful mountain, Giriraj Govardhan, is not different from Krishna. It's Krishna personified. He worshipped that stone, Giriraj, And when he was in Jagannath Puri, he would bathe his Giriraj Shila with tears. Normally you bathe them with milk, Panchamrita, Panchagavya, but his deep ecstasy and love for Krishna, he would bathe his Giriraj Shila every day with his tears. And when Raghunath Das Goswami, when he trekked all the way from Bengal to Jagannath Puri, faced so many obstacles, but he wanted to see Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu gave him, what did he give him? His personal Giriraj Shila to worship. So this is, in a nutshell, who Giriraj Maharaj is and how we should worship and understand Giriraj Maharaj. And the mood that we need to have, it is of utmost humility when we approach Giriraj. Because Giriraj fulfills all desires. I wanted to read just a few verses from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He wrote something called Vraja Riti Chintamani. Just a few descriptions of Giriraj Govardhan. I gave you an overview, very rough description. So we'll just hear a few verses from him, and then we'll discuss the spiritual credits that you get for worshipping Giriraj Govardhan. So this is from Vraja Riti Chintamani by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It's from chapter 3. Govardhan hill is like a flag of intense sweetness placed in the opulent land of Vrindavan. As the king of mountains, Govardhan hill offers pleasing royal service to the young prince of Braj. The rocks of Govardhan hill are of many kinds of splendid jewels that provide thrones, couches. I don't know if this couch is a Vedic word, I guess it is. And other kinds of furniture for Krishna. Govardhan hills, beautiful forests and caves are Krishna's nectarian pastime places. Each one perfect for the supreme good fortune of his beloved and her friends. Govardhan hills, trees and vines serve Sri Krishna by offering him blossoming branches with sweet fruits and flowers filled with honey, nectar and fragrant pollen. The musk left by the deer, as well as the kumkum, camphor and aguru, naturally produced by Govardhan hill, were all used to give a sweet fragrance to the transcendental body of Lord Krishna. So all the scents, food, everything, cosmetics was also provided. The rocks of Govardhan hill are all precious gems. Some are sapphires, some emeralds, some rubies or crystals that provide the perfect backdrop for Lord Krishna's pastimes. While walking on Govardhan hill, Krishna's elder brother Balaram sees a series of golden stones. He thinks the daughter of King Vrishabhanu must have just walked. And he changes course to avoid an awkward situation. In the same way, if she sees a series of crystal stones, she thinks Balaram, because crystal is what color? Okay. Balaram must have just walked before me, so she changes her course. So it's made in such a way that she can navigate herself. You don't need arrows to show you turn left, turn right. Just the stones, reminding them of different personalities. On Govardhan hill, which is the best of Lord Hari's servants, Sri Sri Krishna sees a golden throne, golden stone, and he takes it to be his beloved. What does that mean? Thinks of Srimati Radharani. So he always thinks of Srimati Radharani. In the same way, his beloved sees a sapphire and she assumes it is her lover. The gopis' necklaces, ornaments, and red foot cosmetic betel nuts and other paraphernalia gaze on the beauty of Govardhan hills, groves and caves. Who would not be enchanted by the beauty of Govardhan hill? Imagine the necklaces that they are wearing are enchanted by the beauty of Govardhan hill. Sri Krishna is the sapphire and the gopis, the golden necklaces ornamenting Govardhan hill. The pastimes of Krishna and the gopis are the sons and the daughters of Govardhan hill. Who is able to describe the glories of Govardhan hill? Who is? The peacocks dance enthusiastically, the bees and the cuckoos sing melodiously. Many other birds chirp in rhythmic accompaniment as they all graze on to serve Sri Lord Hari down by Govardhan hill. The Lord, the land around Govardhan hill, is in all direction filled with many lakes, groves and other charming places for Lord Krishna's pastimes. Many lovely streams flow from Govardhan hill onto these lands in all directions. Govardhan hill resembles, who knows what he resembles?
Peacock.
Peacock, thank you. Govardhan hill resembles a gigantic peacock that has Govinda Kund as its tail. Manasi Ganga, where the divine couple eternally enjoys on boat rides and enters into the waters of Govinda Kund. On the Manasi Ganga's shores are many Madhavi vines, pavilions with nectarian beauty that shines the three worlds. There the divine couple enjoys splendid pastimes that are eternally remembered in the hearts. With its nearby forests and groves and limitless nectarian trickling flowers in its waters, Kushuma Sarovara shines with great splendor. It is the handsome face of Govardhan hill. So what is the face of Govardhan hill? The Supreme Personality of Godhead eternally enjoys the pastimes on Govardhan hill. He personally lifted Govardhan hill with his own hand to protect the cowherd associates, who is able to describe the glories of Govardhan hill. Radha Kund and Shyama Kund are Govardhan's two love-filled eyes, because it nourishes the Gopas, the Gopis, and the Surabhi cows with Lord Madhava's sweetness. It shines. Shyamakund and Radhakund are two great floods of nectar, of beauty. They are two great oceans of splendor. They are two beautiful roots from which sweet devotional service grows. Just by seeing these two lakes, Radha and Krishna believe they are present in them, as it is that they directly see each other there. The wise say that by approaching these lakes, one directly approaches Radha and Krishna. Radha saw Krishna and she melted with ecstasy, and thus assumed the liquid state of the waters of Radha Kund. And in the same way, when Krishna saw Radha, he melted in ecstasy and became the waters of? Are you there with me? Became the waters of? So this is a little description. It's very vast. Little description given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. You know, there's so many spiritual benefits of worshipping Giriraj Govardhan. But I'm out of time, so I may just read just a few. Okay? It's very, very short. If one has committed hundreds and millions of sins, a person who gave gold in charity the size of Mount Meru, he attains the same benefit just by hearing the pastimes of Giriraj Govardhan. Simply by visiting Govardhan, one attains piety 100,000 times greater than the piety he would attain on the sacred mountains. There's many, many sacred mountains. Anyway, the glories of Giriraj Govardhan is so vast. And so on this auspicious day of Giriraj Govardhan, it is a day where devotees worship Krishna with deep love, because it embodies that if we take the orders of Krishna and follow his orders and serve his orders, then he will be there to protect us from all dangers, and he will literally be holding the umbrella over our heads. So this is, in a nutshell, the essence of this festival that is very unique, where millions of people in the world will be celebrating. And here, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we're able to celebrate it here in New Banyata. Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So now we'll have
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare